Security cameras do's and don'ts. I strongly recommend that you invest in exterior cameras for your property. We use Ring devices, both doorbells and the motion sensor floodlights of cameras, to ensure our property is safe and that there are no parties or illegal activities taking place. I've already told you the stories of the guests who tried to move in, but I would like to reiterate that a Ring doorbell simply will not provide you with the security footage you need. We purchased the motion sensor floodlights, which were then mounted on the roof of the porch, some 8 to 9 feet up and out of reach. The Ring annual coverage plan includes unlimited devices and costs just $100. This is perfect for small and large properties alike. You can look back through weeks of recordings if necessary. In one case, when I noticed a decorative pillow was missing, I tracked down the footage from when it left the house, under the arm of a guest, and asked them for compensation. They paid for it without complaint. The Ring cameras also caught our first and last New Year's Eve guests firing off a weapon into the air at the stroke of midnight. Comments on what goes up must eventually come down aside. Seeing that footage was enough to encourage me to block that day in all future years. I don't need the money that badly. A couple of things to keep in mind for security cameras and other monitoring devices. Number 1. Never, ever place any of these recording devices inside of your property. Even if they are pointed outwards, looking out of a window, you are opening yourself up to litigation and the potential of being banned from the booking platform the complaining guest is booked on. It is far too easy for those cameras to be turned around, so it is now facing inside, a photograph to be taken, and a complaint to be lodged. Number 2. Disclose all devices on the listing platforms you are using. With Airbnb, this can mean putting it in multiple locations, often along with a brief explanation of why it is there. Number 3. If your security cameras rely on a Wi-Fi connection, I strongly advise you place the Wi-Fi hardware somewhere the guests cannot access. Hosts have mentioned on multiple host groups of ne'er-do-wells disabling the Wi-Fi in order to move in and out of the property without a video record of their movements. If they don't want to stay in a property with exterior recording devices, that's fine, but they shouldn't stay with anyone who has that in place, including nearly all hotels and motels, and expect that they should be able to disable such devices. Number 4. Be a good host. Don't listen in on your guests' discussions. Give them privacy. If they are hanging out on the front porch, leave them be. Later, if an issue arises, then would be a time to review video footage and audio. Yes, hosts have overheard guests planning to make up complaints or steal items from the property and submitted that footage to law enforcement and/or the listing platforms. One other security device you may wish to consider is a loud noise alert device like Minute or Noise Aware. These devices can help you stop parties before they begin. You can set them to notify you if the noise inside of the STR rises above a certain level for a certain period of time. We have a Minute device inside of Cottage West, and I highly recommend it. Like it or not, we live in an increasingly recorded digital age. Use those powers for good. Up next, maximize profit without being cheap.